will say the last few days when I've been in public situations, I've noticed very, very little social anxiety. Like yesterday, I had a few people. I walked to Dollar Tree, and the doors were like locked. And somebody and his like girlfriend, they started talking from behind me. They were like, kick it down, and I was like, oh, I'm kicking this door down. And I actually had some normal like interactions like I would have had with people like 5 years ago. Just, I don't know, just not caring as much. And not being in this habitual setting where people are thinking, or either I think or people are actually, most of the time I think I'm actually right, thinking things about me that don't sit well with me, I disagree with, and like you can't really do anything about when people just indirectly don't include you in conversations, thoughts that they have about you, and you just kind of have to pick them up and then eat them. And it's a very difficult situation to be in where you have to keep eating negative thoughts people have about you. You can't like call them out on it. So it's good to just have interactions with people and not think about bullshit. Think about things that are a waste of fucking time, that don't fucking matter, that are irrelevant because I like upset people because I didn't eat lunch with them, or I got a girl at a bar that somebody else wanted to get. That's really where those things come from, and it's really sad. And maybe I was too modest. That's not a problem for me now, that's for damn sure. And I was walking by like a corner where there were two guys chilling. One guy had a couple of dogs. I saw him walk around the plaza before when I was in the van, and there was like three of them just chilling in like a bench area at this plaza that I'm in. And when I walked past them, right after that guy told me to kick the door down at Dollar Tree, some guy said he thought my tattoo was really cool. And I was like, thanks, dude. Made eye contact, no problem, and just kept walking. And, I didn't like freeze. I didn't pause because somebody, pulled me aside of my like train of thinking, or because I had social anxiety, or I was like really, didn't want to interact with people. And then somebody like pulls you out of your world and like starts to interact with you, and you have these like weird reactions to that. I didn't have that. I just said thank you, looked at them, and then kept walking. So when people aggressively attack you in a setting and people talk around you and lie about you an extended period of time, and they think that it doesn't impact you, and they think that their thoughts and their actions don't impact you and you aren't aware of them, it has a tremendous impact on your confidence, on your social skills, especially when you're stuck in a situation where those kind of situations lead you to isolation and you don't get to practice social skills on a regular basis. But like, minimal, like it's like building myself up. Like I'm not going to shoot fucking 3-pointers and start hitting on, really beautiful women, but I might, take a couple close shots in from close, shoot a couple layups, have a few short conversations with somebody that works at a gas station, somebody that's at the checkout counter. This is how this works. It's practice. It's building your social skills. If I try to shoot a 3-pointer and I don't have any practice, I'm going to airball it. There's this dude that was by my van. He was like walking around. He was looking for work, he said. And I started talking to him, and I was like, dude, like I'm in a similar situation. I'm just fortunate that I have this van. I don't even own it. And I just showed him a couple tricks I had with the solar panel, with my phone. I was like, dude, you need a phone nowadays. If you're going to look for work, you're really putting yourself at a disadvantage if you don't have a phone. And I was just talking about like the different things that I used on the road, the tricks, and he was super appreciative. He was looking for a building, like a state government building, like a music copyright building. Showed him where that was on my phone, directed him the right way, told him what roads to go on, like how far it would be. And then I just showed him, the solar panel, the phone, said like you can get all this, like a solar panel and a phone, charger for like $300. And, that's pretty reasonable to have basically like a free phone and electricity at all times. And then I showed him the water key I have, and I said, look, you can get free water, any building. I might be frowned upon to use the water key, but in a lot of cases, if you're that savvy to have a water key and use it, people who do that aren't going to be questioned in most cases. And I just showed him the water key and said, like, this is how you use it. Just loosen up the, where the water valves are, and then tighten them up when you're done, and you got yourself free water, you got yourself free electricity. And for somebody who's, kind of like, on their own, doesn't have their own place, 2-3 super useful, handy tips, and he was super thankful. So within like a few minutes, I could tell, he was like a nice person. He wasn't like trying to take advantage of me. He was just like wondering what my situation was, and then just seeing, is there anything that I could help him with? And, for me, I don't know, unless I like to learn from other people, but I feel like, I don't know, knowledge base, I feel like in most cases my knowledge base is so extensive that, like, in most cases I'm usually have enough knowledge to help other people. But I still, like, once in a while I'll learn stuff from people and just add it to my toolbox. And, I think those are the kind of things that maybe people who are homeless, who don't have access to things like water and electricity, little tips like that, and just knowing where to find resources, as I've talked about in the past, are just super useful things. And like, whether it's I talked about maybe making a book, maybe making an app, probably be more of a website or an app that homeless people could use just for, general tips and information that they'd find super useful, and resources around them. And I have a couple other ideas too. Also told him about how, like, I'm making content for YouTube, and like, I was like, if life's gonna be difficult and you're gonna acknowledge that, you might as well like pick your most favorite hobby, thing you do the best, and try to make content out of it, and try to prepare yourself for the future, because it may be a struggle, for a few years with content creation, but once you put that time in, once you put that investment in, it's only going to pay off in the long run. And it may take 5 years, it may take 10 years, who knows, but it's worth, in my opinion, it's worth the investment. But I will say, I know I said my social skills were, feeling good today. I did have social anxiety when I was talking to that dude, and he went to shake my hand because he was thankful. And when I went to shake his hand, like, some of the handshakes were pretty smooth, but some of them weren't. They weren't that smooth, and they kind of gave both of us a little bit of anxiety. It's like awkward, like, try to be, I don't know. First, it was like a regular, like, business handshake. That's what I tried to give, and he wasn't trying to give one of those. So, like, the next time he gave me a handshake, I gave him, like, like a smoother one, like a, one of those, like, those bro handshakes. And then I went back to like another business style handshake at the end, and it was it was a little uncomfortable, but I should have just went for like the cool bro handshake every time. And not a big deal, but these are the kind of things when you have anxiety that you think about stupid shit like this. And not only is it that you think about it in the moment, but like afterwards, that's when it bothers me, is afterwards. I'm like, oh, and I dwell on those things in social situations because I don't have too much social interaction. So like, until the next time I interact with people, I like dwell on these awkward social interactions, and it doesn't help my anxiety. But the best thing, like, I never did that in the past. When something was awkward in the past, before all this stuff happened with my job and like all this anxiety, I just like whatever, just blew stuff off like it wasn't a big deal. Because part of the reason is you have normal social interaction. You're always interacting with new people every like 30 minutes, every hour. So it's easy to forget about like awkward moments and awkward encounters. When you don't have much social interaction, you have like one social interaction every few days, and you dwell on those awkward moments, dwell on it, and without much practice, without being around people all the time, being isolated, you're more inclined to be more awkward, have more anxiety in social situations. And again, it's like a practice thing. It's like when you have people around you and you're constantly interacting with people don't even think about it. People can't think about it. It's too difficult for them to think about, or to put themselves in somebody else's shoes who doesn't have interaction all the time. And I completely understand that. But that's why, I don't know, you just have to listen to people. You have to just listen to people when they talk. When people are different from you, or have a different background, or different, or come from a different situation than you, or are, used to something that you're not used to, and they're trying to explain it to you, you have to take what you're familiar with out the window and like listen. You just have to listen. And I know it's difficult, but you're never gonna be able to understand somebody else's perspective if you're not willing to listen to them. So maybe I don't do the best of explaining it, but I don't know. Just stuff like that. Like, I just realized, like, I can't dwell on things like that. I have to just, like, forget about them and move on from them. But what was important was I helped that dude, you know, with a few tips and tricks that I know. So once he finds that building, you know, then he can, you know, use those moving forward. He can save up, get a phone, he can get a solar panel, he can get a water key, and he'd be in a lot better situation. You know, imagine if he never knew those things. Plan today, I have a game plan like most days, is to buy a Dollar Tree right now, so I'm going to utilize that. I'm going to go on a Dollar Tree run, maybe spend like $20, get some stuff that, you know, certain foods that I like that I'm lacking in, maybe some snacks, maybe some canned, I really like the canned seafood that they have. It's pretty good, and it's like not common food that people normally eat, so I like getting that for content. And I don't know, just seeing what else they have in there. Maybe some candles. It's going to get colder over the next couple of days. I'm probably going to have some cold periods this winter in Texas, where a candle that smells good will serve two purposes. It does a good job of keeping some heat in here pretty efficiently. You know, decent sized candle, and then also because I have bathroom space in here, it helps with the smell. So I go to Dollar Tree, make like a $20 run. Then I'm going to head to my storage unit and utilize the majority of the day there. I'm going to try to organize my books and my video games. We don't need a fucking ad right now. Thanks, SoundCloud. Then organize my books, my video games, get them in a situation where, you know, I have them boxed up and organized where I can sell them. And then I think tomorrow I'll head to either half-price books, probably Game Over video games first, and start selling. I think I'm going to start with newer stuff first, because you can always get that stuff for at least closer to the same value in the future if I ever want to get it again. I'm talking about newer stuff like an Xbox Series S, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and the older stuff, if I have room for that stuff's only going to increasingly go up in value. Like my old video games, Game Boy Advance collection, PSP, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo games. I have some games from like Japan in my Game Boy Advance collection. I have like a good amount. I sell that stuff, give myself, you know, a little bit of, you know, some funding up front for the next like month or two, and then I can pay. I can't even right now pay for the life and health insurance test that I have to take to be certified. I can't even pay for that right now. So I'm probably going to have to, because I'm going to have to pay for that online, I'm going to have to open up a bank account once I get the funds that I get from selling stuff. Open up a separate bank account, like a checking account, get some checks, either digitally deposit those checks into my key bank account, because there's no key banks in this area, or I'm going to have to use my new bank information for my new account and maybe get like a debit card on the spot and pay for taking the test online that way. And once I have that money up front, then I'll just, you know, use my resources as need be, keep this thing, and hopefully I'm selling insurance pretty soon, and just keep working at the channels and keep building my passive income stream in that way. Right now I'm at like $40 a month on my gaming channel, but my vlogging channel that this video is for, that hasn't even monetized yet, needs about half the amount of watch time it needs to monetize. So I'm thinking by the time my gaming channel is making me a few $100s, it may take 6 months, it may take another year. Then my other channel will monetize, and then by the time that happens, I should have an extensive, decent amount of money coming my way from my 2 channels once my second channel monetizes, where I'm looking at a few hundred to like maybe even $1,000 a month of passive income, which is like a huge flip of a switch coming from not making that much money on the road to having literally passive income stream. And I'm gonna have to pay this van off probably between selling insurance and building up my passive income stream, and I have to pay this off first. Figure out how I can't sell it till I pay it off because I don't have the title, so I don't own it. Before I get another van at a decent rate, maybe off Craigslist, like a $2,000 to a $4,000 like a minivan, like a soccer mom van. I don't necessarily need a cargo van, and you can get a soccer mom minivan for a lot cheaper than you can get a cargo van in most cases. So this thing is heavy duty, but it's not necessarily necessary. It's not necessary. And then I'll have a van, and I'll hopefully can do all this before the summer hits, and I can get back to Colorado, enjoy my land in the fucking summer, get some fucking awesome dank ass fucking weed, and just keep making content, enjoy the passive income stream, sell insurance on the road, and be fucking working on that beautiful land in Colorado. I have to call up Castillo County and have them send my bill, or I have to pay my bill, because my mom helped me out with that last year. I sent in a check. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if a mailman ate it. A dog got a hold of it. But something happened to the check I sent in, where maybe it bounced. It probably bounced. That's probably what happened. I probably didn't have enough money in my account because I run on such a thin line of margin while I do everything that I've done on the road, and I basically invest everything that I own as much as I can. Usually more than I should invest, I invest. And then I end up either paying overdraft fees or just walking a really fine line of margin in my line of business. But when you run a thin line of margin in business, it's like anything. You keep yourself challenged, and you build your skills, and you make yourself better by making things more challenging for yourself. So that's probably, in my opinion, that's one of the best investments you can give yourself, is building your skills by challenging yourself constantly. One big life hack I use in this van for, it's not insulated in a lot of spots the best, where I have windows and things like that. But one trick I always use, one of the apartments I rented out when I worked my last job, it had very terrible heat and oftentimes no heat at all in the winter. So just throwing on like an extra layer of clothes in between your clothes, or 2 extra layers, makes a huge difference in just trying to stay warm or just being comfortable. That apartment was horrible. It had no heat, and it had cockroaches all fucking year round, and I was paying like $1,500 a month for it. So I honestly, between the two, paying $200 a month for this van from financing, I don't have any cockroaches. I can control my heat. I can add a candle. It's a smaller space that I can, heat a lot easier and a lot more efficiently than that big apartment that didn't have any heat. If you ask me which one's way better, which one I would choose, I choose a $200 van where I can, control the heat a lot easier, and I don't have cockroaches.
Look at this place. Pristine beaches, exotic wildlife. It's about time we got a real vacation. What the? Oh, that's terrifying. Okay, none of this was in the brochure.
Humans, so fragile.
Rated T for teen.
1 billion free chips! Good luck! 1 billion free chips! Amazing! 1 billion free chips! Incredible! Jackpot Master!